for candidates to hopefully share their policies with the nation ahead of the election. Later tonight, we'll preview the vice presidential debate.
Learn how a bra drive on campus is helping those in need and how you can get involved.
The School of Theater and Dance will have its final performance of The Crucible this week. Find out how you can get a front row seat to the Salem Witch Trials performance.
And schools across the country are adding silent panic alarms to their classrooms to help try and keep their students safe. How this decision was made and more as KSTV at 6 starts right now.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Kent State, and welcome to Kent Stater TV. I'm Noah Rowe.
And I'm Sydney Brown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 6. We have the latest on your community and your stories.
Absolutely, we do.
In this October, Kent State is collecting bras in a campus-wide effort.
Reporter Lex Rady is in the studio, and how are they kicking off this drive, Lex?
That's right, guys. Today officially marks the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Kent State's Department of Sustainability is hosting a bra drive to raise awareness. Throughout the month of October, you may notice donation bins in areas like the Women's Center Wellness Hub and here Hall. Kent State's Department of Sustainability are asking for donations of one specific item.
We ask for gently used, washed bras that are no longer needed.
The Department of Sustainability is known for hosting different clothing drives throughout the year. However, the department advocates the need of bras during Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Those bras will then be donated to the Portage County Clothing Center right down the road.
According to the organization I Support the Girls, bras and feminine hygiene products are the most requested items at women's homeless shelters, but are actually the least donated item.
And we all know we all have excess of things that we're not using. So it works both ways, and it helps us to find a home for things that we're not utilizing, as well as help somebody in need.
Department of Sustainability and other Kent State organizations that are partnering with the drive are asking students to take a look inside their closets for any old items that they'd be willing to donate.
So it's just important for us to think that everyone's not as fortunate as we might be to have access to these items and how we can help.
The Sustainability Department is also advocating for students to receive a free mammogram screening from a mammogram truck parked outside of here Hall. The truck will be there Wednesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For KSTV, this is Lex Rady.
Thank you, Lex. The School of Theater and Dance is putting on a production of The Crucible, and tonight's the last night. It's widely considered a masterpiece. It challenges American ideas of power, intolerance, and justice in the Puritan community of Salem, Massachusetts. In the play, a servant girl accuses a farmer's wife of witchcraft. One accusation spirals into many, uncovering a web of bigotry and deceit that changes their lives forever. You can catch the play tonight at 7:30.
Last night at the Kent BP gas station, a car was ablaze. The fire engulfed the car and nearly reached the canopy of the BP. The flames were contained by the Kent Fire Department, but they did shut down part of East Main Street on Route 59. The driver is allegedly okay.
A 19-year-old from Twinsburg has been indicted on gun-related charges. William Hale Jones allegedly shot a gun in a school zone, and police have also charged him with 3 counts of assault. One bullet passed through 2 backyard fences and was lodged into a tree. Hale Jones was arraigned yesterday in Portage County. His bond was set for $250,000.
A suspect is in custody after a drive-by Akron shooting. Officers from the Akron Police Department responded to reports of gunfire at Roslyn Court around 6 p.m. and found a 24-year-old woman with a gunshot wound. She was brought to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The 21-year-old suspect was located in the passenger seat of a vehicle matching descriptions and was in possession of a stolen firearm.
In a heartfelt tribute, Ohio is honoring the life and service of Troy Bernard, a lifelong firefighter and paramedic who passed away at 49 last week in Perrysburg after battling bladder cancer since 2021. Governor Mike DeWine announced that flags will be flown at half-staff at public buildings in Wood County, the Ohio State House, and other state facilities until Bernard's funeral on Saturday. The family encourages contributions in Troy's name to the Tunnel to Tower Foundation, honoring the legacy of firefighters lost in the line of duty.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV. It's Tegan Evans here with your weather for Kent and around the state of Ohio. Starting with here in Kent, luckily it has started to feel a little bit like fall, but unfortunately that has come with a lot of rain. Right now in Kent, it is 68 degrees and the humidity is sitting at a high 78% because of all of the rain we had over the weekend. It is very cloudy out right now and there is a 15% chance of rain, which we will see go up as the night goes on. Here's the hourly forecast for the rest of the night. Starting at 7 p.m., it is going to be 66 degrees with a 25% chance of rain. And then as the night goes on, the temperature will drop, but the rain percentage will go up. At 9 p.m., it is going to be 64 degrees with a 45% chance of rain. And then at 11 p.m., it is going to be 62 degrees with a high 70% chance of rain. Now for tomorrow, you guys will finally get to leave your umbrellas at home when you're on your walk to class because it'll be 66 degrees and it will be mostly sunny, winds north 8 to 10 miles per hour. That's all I have for right now. Stay tuned for the weather around Ohio and the extended forecast for the rest of the week. It is exciting as we will be seeing a lot of sun.
Thank you, Tegan. A new club has put its roots down on campus this fall, and they're hoping that their organization grows.
That's right. Kent Stater TV's Talia Milwich has the full story of the start of Kent's Garden Club.
Just recently, within the past couple of years, we've had a lot of students who had a lot of interest in gardening.
Kent State students created a garden club on campus to keep Kent green. Students are working to get campus gardens, including Nixon Gardens, back in shape.
Well, what we're hopeful to do this year with the Garden Club of Kent State is to take some of the gardens that were abandoned here on campus over the past years, first starting with the pandemic, and then they went fairly weedy.
The pandemic left the garden abandoned and overgrown.
This has kind of been a project in the making for a while. So this used to be a community garden before the pandemic, but following COVID and lockdown and everything, it sort of went into disarray and was sort of abandoned.
Animals like squirrels and groundhogs have also been a problem in the upkeep of the garden.
We decided that instead of trying to remove the wildlife, we'd like to work with the wildlife, and so therefore we're going to plant things that they wouldn't necessarily eat or have trouble getting to.
Rather than continuing with a vegetable garden, they plan to plant native perennial plants to teach students.
I think it's a wonderful initiative here to have a teaching and learning garden here on Kent State grounds.
Students can work on these projects every Friday throughout the growing season to develop the gardens and keep them coming back each year.
I think it'll make a huge difference. You know, Kent campus obviously has a lot of wildlife areas in it, but none so dense, I would say.
Reporting for KSTV, I'm Talia Milowich.
Good evening, everyone. The state of Ohio and the nation had a ton of news make headlines this evening. We'll start tonight with recreational marijuana here in the Buckeye State, as their sales have exceeded $76 million in less than 50 days. Sales started on August 6th after 57% of Ohioans voted to legalize the substance through the passage of Issue 2 last November. There are now 124 dual-use marijuana dispensaries in Ohio, which means they can sell both medical and non-medical marijuana. Columbus has 13, Cincinnati has 10, Dayton has 6, and Cleveland has 5. Going down south, as the region has been rocked by Hurricane Helene, Congress may break from its 6-week recess to head back to the Capitol to approve emergency spending for recovery and response. Lawmakers aren't slated to come back to Washington until after Election Day, but President Joe Biden indicated Monday during remarks of the storm that he may ask Congress to return sooner to take up an emergency spending request. The Ohio Retired Teachers Fund is once again moving to hire a firm that has allegedly a lack of experience and personal ties to the board leaders, according to its senior staff. State Teachers Retirement System's acting executive director, Lynn Hoover, explained her concerns about the board's latest hiring process in an exclusive 45-minute interview. As of this week, there has been a dismissal and 2 senior staff resignation in STRS. Staff at all public and most private schools in Ohio would have to wear silent panic buttons that can alert local law enforcement when there is trouble, including mass shootings, under a newly introduced Ohio Senate bill. Senate Bill 313 is known as Alyssa's Law, named after Alyssa Al-Hadef, a victim of the 2018 mass shooting at a school in Parkland, Florida, where 17 people died. The state would spend $25 million to purchase the systems, which would have to be in place by the 2025-26 school year. And those are some of the biggest headlines today. For more updates from us 24/7, make sure to visit us online at KentWire.com. From the Franklin Hall studio, Matt Corrali, KSTV News. Noah?
Thank you, Matt. A strike against East and Gulf Coast ports is hitting the economy and impacting recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene. The tense negotiations with the United States Maritime Alliance.
Tensions in the Middle East continue to climb as Israel has mounted limited ground invasions into another country. Up next, the latest information we have.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Without music on, check us truly at the 1975. Amen.
Welcome back. Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old today, becoming the first president in U.S. history to hit the centennial mark, and a number of events to celebrate are in the works. That includes a flyover of military jets over his hometown, Plains, Georgia, where a naturalization ceremony and concert will be held. According to family members, Carter's birthday wish is to vote in the presidential election.
Nearly 50,000 union longshoremen are on strike against East and Gulf Coast ports. The massive port strike is impacting a wide array of goods and potentially raising some prices. With the Hurricane Helene's devastation across multiple southeastern states, both the storm and the U.S. economy are urgent issues. The United States Maritime Alliance has still not responded to today's strike and are still in negotiation stages.
Moving to the Middle East, the Israeli military says it has begun a limited ground operation in southern Lebanon targeting Hezbollah. There will be no long-term occupation of Lebanon, Israel officials said, but declined to provide a timeline. The country began its operations that it is aimed at Hezbollah targets that pose an immediate threat to communities in northern Israel. The incursion follows last week's airstrike that killed Hezbollah's longtime leader.
And Israel's military says Iran launched about 180 missiles at the country on Tuesday. The attack comes after Israeli ground forces entered southern Lebanon to attack the militant group Hezbollah. Dozens of missiles were intercepted, but it's unclear how many. The Israeli military says some missiles may direct impact in central and southern Israel. The U.S. officials say military forces in the Middle East are helping in the defense.
Tonight is the vice presidential debate between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance. The two will not be following the same rules that were followed in the presidential debate earlier this election season. There will be no muted microphones and no pre-debate intros. A political science professor from Kent State gave his personal opinion on the two candidates and what he expects Tim Walz to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, for Walz, I think what he's going to be talking about are reproductive health, reproductive rights, and Vance's and Trump's plan to essentially criminalize abortion. I think Walz will focus a lot on tariffs. I think he's going to focus a lot on Trump's plan to increase tariffs, which, would increase prices and would threaten not only the economy generally, but the stock market in particular.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Let's take a look at the temperatures around Ohio and the sunny week we have ahead. Starting with the whole state of Ohio, up north in Toledo, it is 64 degrees. And as we go down to Akron, Canton, it gets a little bit warmer as we are sitting at a warm 68 degrees. Then over in the east in Pittsburgh, it is 66 degrees. It is 70 degrees in Athens and a warmer 73 degrees in Columbus. Then as we head even more south, Cincinnati is sitting at a very warm 78 degrees. Now let's take a look at just the northeast portion of Ohio. We have Kent currently sitting at a cooler 65 degrees. We head up to the lake. Sandusky is sitting at 75 degrees, Cleveland at 72, and Ashtabula at 69. Now we take a look at Mansfield. It is sitting at 71 degrees, and so is Worcester. Akron Canton is 68, and Youngstown is 66 degrees. Now let's take a look at the extended forecast for the rest of this week. Starting with tomorrow, it is going to be a high of 66 and a low of 43 and mostly sunny. Thursday, a high of 73 and a low of 49 and all sun. And Friday, we will see all sunshine again, and the high will be 77 degrees with a low of 51. Then on Saturday, we will see even more sun with a high of 72 and a low of 50. On Sunday, we will be getting some rain, only a 40% chance. The high will be 77 and the low will be 50. We head into the next week. On Monday, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 61 and a low of 45. And then on Tuesday, mostly sunny again with some clouds, a high of 62 and a low of 43. Well, the weather is looking nice as we head into fall break, and it seems we will be free from the rain for a while. That's all I have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Tegan. Floodwaters from the remnants of Hurricane Helene have isolated Asheville, North Carolina, causing significant destruction across southern Appalachia. Many roads are closed and power and cell phone service are down, leaving families worried about loved ones. A helicopter rescue operation saved dozens from a flooded hospital. While the interstate has reopened, access to the city remains very limited. North Carolina's Governor Roy Cooper reported that supplies are being airlifted to the affected areas.
In the wake of Hurricane Helene, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper addressed the relief efforts mentioned earlier. The briefing took place in Raleigh, and Cooper announced that Interstate 40 eastbound out of Asheville is open once again. Westbound lanes into Asheville are expected to open later today, and in the storm-battered mountains of western North Carolina, residents who were cut off from resources were just recently reached. The death toll now is at least 133 people across the southeast and is anticipated to rise.
The Lions and Seahawks met in the Motor City last night in a matchup between two NFC contenders, stay seated to find out who came victorious.
A daycare center is teaching babies sign language. Stay with us to hear about the interesting study that led to this decision.
Will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wispen. Its ability to...
He finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. Yeah, and I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.
Good evening, Portage County. Today is October 1st. The pumpkins are out, the coffee is hot, and it's a great time to be a sports fan. I'm Gage Wellman, and here's what's new. The Kent State Flashes golf team played in their third overall tournament of the season at the Blessings Collegiate Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The men's team is currently set at 8th today after today's play, with the women tied for 6th. Freshman Nolan Haynes led the way for the men, posting a score of 72, and Leon Takagi leading the way with the ladies with 73. Play will conclude tomorrow, and both Flashes teams will look to continue their bright start to the season. We had a battle between NFC contenders, the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions, taking off in Ford Field. We would have Jared Goff. He's going to motion here for some extra blockers and hand off to David Montgomery, who's going to wrestle and reach the nose of the ball over the goal line. Then Geno Smith, he's going to slip one right to his star wideout DK Metcalf. He's going to rumble and grumble, but oh wait, there's a fumble picked up by defensive back Davis. He's going to rumble and find his way for great field position for Jared Goff, who would then hand off to his running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going to push and find his way into the end zone. Then, later in the third quarter, Geno Smith finds rookie tight end for A.J. Barner to give Seattle some much-needed help. Then this, A.J. St. Brown, wait, why is he stopping? Oh boy, perchance shades of Nick Foles in the Super Bowl as Jared Goff catches a touchdown. Insanity. Then, play-action pass, Jared Goff. He would fire a rope to Jamison Williams, and the Seattle Seahawks, they would not come back from this. Final, Lions 42, Seahawks 29, and then Major League Baseball's playoff kicked off today with the Detroit Tigers and Houston Astros playing Game 1 of the AL Wildcard Series. As we speak, the Baltimore Orioles and Kansas City Royals square off in their own wildcard series, the winner of which will take on the New York Yankees. 2 National League matchups will also take place tonight, with the NL Central champion Brewers taking on the Mets and the Atlanta Braves battling against the San Diego Padres. Well, folks, that's all the time I have to share the wonderful world of sports with you. When we come back, it'll be Noah and Sydney at the desk. I'm Gage Wellman, and have a great night, Portage County.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine. And I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, kitty cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
A daycare in Colorado is teaching babies sign language. If they complete the program, they should know about 50 words by the time that they are 6 years old. A study done by the National Institute of Health showed infants taught sign language replaced crying with signing when they needed to communicate.
I like that story. And with the widespread adoption of artificial intelligence, Microsoft is trying to add personality to grow trust between the user and tech. Microsoft announced today that it will update the AI system Copilot to make an AI companion for users. The standout changes: a real-time voice interaction and comprehension of images and text on a user's screen. And the tech will also have a more warm tone, offer encouragement and feedback.
I can't be the only one that thinks that's just a little bit unsettling.
It's a little unsettling. It's giving kind of, you know, where the robots take over the world, but
I can imagine if your AI assistant started to roast you, where you weren't even safe then.
so it just replaces my coworkers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, I heard you actually know a little bit of sign language, though.
I
and
do, because I think that story was so
nuts.
sweet.
So how about you maybe show me and
So
the good people of
if
Portage
I
County.
introduce myself, hi, hit my mic, my
Okay.
name is, then you spell it. So mine's SYDNEY.
You're going a bit fast for
Okay,
me.
but yours would be N.
Okay, so wait, so it's 2
Yeah.
index and then N. Okay.
O.
So let's make an O. Oop, is it?
No, you're good. You're good. You're
it's
right.
This way?
Other way.
Oh, this way.
Either one.
Okay, cool.
There's palm orientation stuff, so we're just gonna breeze through.
Okay. A. Okay.
And then H.
And then A. Oop. So don't point at the other person. So that's not H.
No.
But this is an H.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Would you have your baby learn sign language if that was offered to you at a daycare?
I don't know. It's kind of cool. I
It
feel
is.
like I don't know if that's known to help them
Yeah.
accelerate their
Absolutely.
development earlier.
I'm sorry,
So
I'm not giving you a side eye. I'm about to sneeze, but thank
That
you
is
so much.
all the time we
That
have
is
today.
All the time we have today on this newscast.
thank you so much for joining us. For updates on all these stories and more, follow us on KentWire.com. I'm Sydney Brown.
And I am Noah Rowe. Have a great night, Portage County.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.